Oh, okay, got it.
Okay,
So
that's
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. My name is Susan Howard, and I was born and raised here in Springfield, Missouri. I've been a member, a volunteer of the Springfield Welcome Home since February of 2016, and I've been on the board for, I would say it was probably back in May of 2016. And my role is more of the food pantry, and to make sure that whenever the new families come here that they have food and staples of food pantry items and things like that.
So, why did you decide to join Springfield Welcome Home?
Probably in the past 15, 20 years, I've wanted to do something similar to this. My ideal was to go to a third world country and help, do this, provide this type of help. But whenever I met Katie back in February, and she described what her organization does, and they were looking for someone to take over the food pantry part of it, I immediately volunteered for that.
So, can you explain to us and the people in the community of Springfield that why that it's very important to help the refugees?
Okay. Well, because they're coming to a strange new place, they're looking for a better way of life. Um, my assumption is where they have been most of their lives, they've had a lot of difficulty either with food or security, safety, even clothing, anything, education, and all. I feel like with the food part that it provides a comfort to them, to where they shouldn't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. And I know that coming from another country to here, that probably food is one of their biggest things that they miss. Their own type of food and their own language and all too. So, and I know for Americans, we take food as a comfort. So we want them to feel welcome.
So, do you have any memorable experience with the refugees during the time you're working on this?
Yes, there was one family in particular who came. They came about the same time that I started, back in February or so, and I fell in love with them immediately. They were so kind, so nice, so friendly, and even though they didn't have much to give, anytime you came over, they made you sure you had something to eat, something to drink, because they were very respectful of everyone who entered their home and all. And we became very close to them. And I think most of the refugees here are just very appreciative of everything that we can help them with, and they're happy to be here and they feel welcome. I've found that the Springfield community is so much more generous than what I even thought that they would be. They've been very generous in clothing, in maybe jobs, food, anything that are necessary items, for the families.
So, what are the refugees need the most at this moment, and what other people in the community can do to help them?
Yeah, I think the first thing that they always want is a job so they can take care of their own family. That's the number one thing. But then food, and they want to make sure now with winter coming on that they have warm clothes and all. They can make do with things at home, even if they have to sleep on the floor. I mean, ideally, of course, they'd like to have beds and warm blankets and all too. But their number one thing is the man wants a job, and the women are willing to work too, and they want to learn English and food, everything else, and then education for their kids. They really want their kids in school, because maybe some of the places they've come from, they weren't ever allowed to go to school. I know one girl who was here, she was 19. She had never been to school a day in her life because it wasn't allowed for refugees to go to school.
So, I want you to send a message to the community, to the people who don't know about Springfield Welcome Home, and let's tell them about why they need to do this.
Well, I feel personally, I think you should help other people, and certainly should help less fortunate. It doesn't matter what color their skin is, or what color their hair is, or what religion they believe in. I would hope that most people are kind and generous and open-minded enough, to help others. They're not asking for new cars. They're not asking for a car even. They're not asking for luxury items. They just want the basic necessities for a human being. And I know that the Springfield community is very generous in that. And I hope that they continue with their generosity, because we want to help these refugees to be able to become a good member of our society and all, so they can be productive, they can work, they can also help the economy with purchasing things, buying things, and renting, buying homes, hopefully eventually, and all.
Yeah. So we want to like send a message at the end of the video. So can you look at the camera and say that let's join Springfield Welcome Home.
I'm sorry, say the lot. Say the
Say
what?
that let's join Springfield Welcome Home to make a change and something.
Let's join?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, my
No,
bad
that's okay.
pronunciation.
That's okay. So, we do welcome all volunteers, no matter what you can give. Even if it's time. Time is the biggest thing that you can give. And we would like for it to have as many volunteers as possible, because I promise you, you will find joy in in whatever you give to these people. Even if you think it's a very small amount that you're giving, I promise you they will appreciate it, and they will think that it's a huge gift that you're giving them.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you.
All right, thank you. All right,
Awesome. Thank
thanks.
you.